Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, fuck you! Yes! Yes! Fuck you too! Hello, everyone.
What up, everybody? Sorry, guys. Man, YouTube's really
The room
taking forever to
silently
connect,
and
guys.
immediately right now.
Uh-oh.
Right now. You're interrupting the meeting, sir, and you're not only disrupting, you are delaying the progress of this meeting. You'll need to leave, and I mean now. Rob Kwan, you're ordered to sit and be silent and not
Rob
disrupt
Kwan
this
starts
meeting.
shit?
That's your only warning. Leave the
get it,
meeting
Rob.
immediately.
My
Leave the
man
meeting
Rob
immediately.
Kwan, baby.
I apologize, Mr. Blumenfield, for the disruption and the delay of our work.
And just for the record, the gentleman who's still interrupting the meeting and refusing to leave is General Dogon.
He's doing that for the public.
YouTube's busy burning Dookie. Started out with a bang is right. At least I caught that little bit.
To get your comments in and then disrupt it.
All right. Mr. Blumenfield,
Okay,
please start again.
I know you were hanging on my every word. I was merely saying that
redo the stream
items
feed
17
before,
through
Rob.
22,
just
we have
taking
heard in
like a
Budget
minute
Committee.
or two just to
We do
connect.
not
It
need
just
to
doesn't
hear
wanna
them
connect.
here in open session
it
unless
finally
any
does
member
after
has
a
an
while,
issue with it. So I would move that we go with the Budget
Morning.
Committee's recommendations and hear these, approve them in open
Batman?
session.
What's up, Joseph?
Very good, thank you.
What's up, Matt?
I see no members who wish to be heard on any of the
think
closed
that was,
session items, so we can go ahead and
Rob
read those
Kwan,
into the record.
possibly. I don't know.
Yes, sir. Item 17 in the case entitled Manuel Cifuentes
I know, man. I
versus
heard the
City of
Empire
Los
State
Angeles
Building
et
fell
al.
down, Oscar.
Is a recommendation to expend up to
Thank you so much,
$150,000
Allison.
in
Thank you,
settlement.
thank you, thank you.
Item 18
Happy
in the
Friday.
case entitled Tova Siegel versus City of Los Angeles et al. There's a recommendation
did,
to
Ian.
expend up to $175,000 in settlement.
When the Empire State
Item
Building fell.
19 in the case of Young Nam Wilson versus
Or
City
maybe
of
it
Los
was when the,
Angeles. There's a recommendation
Statue
to
of Liberty
expend
came down.
up
One of the
to
two.
$250,000 in settlement. Item 20
My
in the
package
case
was
entitled
delivered?
Bizhan Mogum
Oh, to the
et
PO
al.
box.
versus
I'll be
City
there
of Los
tonight.
Angeles. There's a
you,
recommendation
Catherine.
to expend up to $350,000 in settlement.
Hi, Tom.
Item 21 in the case
Hi, Laguna.
entitled Rosa Isabel Cruz versus City of Los Angeles. There's a recommendation to expend up to $650,000
I'm
in
gonna go
settlement.
grab my coffee real
Item
quick. I'll be right back.
22 in the case entitled American Home Assurance Company versus City of Los
Thank you,
Angeles,
Ian.
and consolidated
Thank you,
case
Allison.
entitled Marta Tom Q versus
Yeah, I
City
see
of
you
Los
over there.
Angeles.
It's
There
not
is a
me.
recommendation to expend up to $1,249,000 in settlement.
Give me 1 minute.
All right, those items are now before us. I see no members wishing to be heard, so let's go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
12 eyes.
All right, we're ready. Oh, Mr. Price.
Out of an abundance of caution, I'm recusing myself from item 24 due to the inability to clearly discern what organizations are involved in these projects from the documents presented.
Very good, thank you. That will be on the special agenda, which we'll be calling momentarily, but duly noted. Thank you very much, Mr. Price. All right. With that, we're ready to begin the public comment portion of our meeting. So, Madam Clerk, Mr. City Attorney, if you could please read in the instructions.
Yes, sir. As indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted to the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute. Again, call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466, then press pound. Press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted to the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute.
All right, I'm back. You want to call in? There's your public comment. Let's get it. There is your public
To
comment
people providing
line.
public comment, when it
If
is
you
your
want
turn to
call
speak,
in, Gross
either at the
looking good, he
podium
got his
or
hair
on
all
the phone,
done.
please state which of the agenda items you would like to speak to. You will have 1 minute per item, up to 3 minutes total, for the items open for public comment. We will tell you when your time is up. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can.
He always recuses
If you are
himself.
not on topic,
I mean,
or if we cannot
hopefully
tell
he'll
whether
be in
you
a
are on
prison
topic,
cell soon enough.
you will get one brief warning from me or the council president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public
So, Jalvin,
comment
thank you so
are
much for the
items
11 months.
14 through
Welcome back
16
to another
and item
little bit of
23.
prime. Thank you,
So
Jalvin.
again, let me repeat. The items that are open for public comment during the regular meeting are items 14
Sick?
through 16 and item number
What's up,
23.
JJ Supercat?
Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment, which will be held together with the
$5
public comment on the
Fantastic Sam.
agenda.
Well, it looks better.
During general public comment, members
to
of the public
Fantastic
may
Sams.
speak to any of the other items or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. For members of the public calling in, when it is your turn to
What's up, Mark?
speak, an automated message from Zoom will prompt you to press *6 to unmute yourself. If you do not do so, council staff will prompt you once more. At that point,
Didn't
you
even
need
know it
to
was on this
immediately
weekend,
unmute
Matt.
yourself, or unfortunately, you will forfeit your speaking
I
time
might
and you will
definitely
have
check
to
it
move
out.
on
Why
to the
not?
next caller. Finally, because of a brief time delay between
Would
the
I
meeting
buy a
and the
used car from
broadcast, the
Darren
live meeting
Jones?
and the
I wouldn't buy
broadcast,
nothing from
two
Darren
things
Jones.
are important.
Probably has cockroaches and all
First,
kinds of
while
nasty
waiting for your
shit
turn
in
to
it.
speak, please keep an ear to the phone so you know in real time when it is your turn to press *6 to unmute.
Boy, he was
Second,
on a crack
If
binge.
you're listening to this meeting on another
you could
device,
hear it, well, probably
please
cocaine.
turn down the
Maybe not
volume on that
crack,
device
which is
immediately when it is
technically
your turn to
cocaine.
speak.
Crack
Between the
base,
time delay and
Ray-Base.
feedback, it will cause a great
yeah.
deal of confusion if you continue
All
to
that
listen
snorting
on your
don't
other
fool me.
devices.
That coke
Thank you.
drip. This is my sinuses, Terry.
Very good.
No,
Thank you. I'm
Terry,
going to
it's
call out
cocaine drip,
the
Terry.
names of the
It's
people
going in
who
his
signed up here
sinuses.
in the chambers. As I call your name, please make your way to the your left-hand side
That's
of the
called
chambers.
coke drip. That's how you're
so
able
that
to
you
talk
can
for
be guided
10
up to
hours
the
straight
podium.
without shutting your
You
fucking
don't need
mouth.
to speak in the order that I call you, but please don't line up until I do call you. Candido Mares, Eric Walter, Rob Kwan, Jay
Kwan.
Richardson,
Let's get it.
Taylor Francis,
Taylor Swift.
Andrew Grabner,
Oh, and over
Stacy
21.
Segarra Bollinger,
Oh, Stacy's
Andy, Spindler, and Dan.
Spindler and Dan. Yeah, Stinks just walked in. He's
Good morning.
Good
hungry
morning.
for
If you
food,
could
of
please
course,
remind
as
us of the
early as
name you
always.
signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Eric Walter, general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
I thank you for the
wow, they're
opportunity.
letting everybody general
My name's
public.
Eric Walter. I'm a longtime
there.
customer of NoHo Printing, owned by Carlos Pena. 20 months ago, his business was destroyed by the LAPD and the SWAT team and the U.S. Marshal.
Whoa.
U.S. Marshal gave him compensation opportunities
Hi, Chrome.
to get compensated. It was denied. It was told it was the LAPD's fault.
Hi, Valerie.
Later on, that was denied. It was appealed to city attorney. It was denied. A judge ruled and denied it as well. There's no debate that the police acted in good faith. We have no quibbles with that. What we think and hope for is, why does this have to be a legal matter? Cannot this be resolved in other ways? There must be funds from the LAPD, the U.S. Marshal, and the city of L.A. to take care of this. He's an
Hi,
immigrant
Brooke.
from El
Snow
Salvador.
day.
He's living the American dream, and now it's become an American nightmare. He can't provide for his family anymore. He has no opportunity for any other income. And I'd like to speak to someone else to follow up on a couple of details. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, he's been a good boy. He's just hungry. He's always hungry, you know.
Thank you, sir.
I don't wanna
Sir,
feed him- I don't
if
wanna
you could just
overfeed
Step
him.
over to the side. I'm going to have a staff member come and talk to you about that. No, yes, over to this side, if you would. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Oh, my.
Hello, Taylor Francis, general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
Good morning, Council. I'm here to finish some comments I started on Wednesday, but a minute is not very much time. On Wednesday, I told you about my experience with the Building and Safety Commission, where commissioners made a decision
Getting close
based
to
on
what?
misleading and false information presented by staff.
Really?
Neither I nor ownership disagrees with the outcome, but the process was highly suspect, calling into question many LADBS decisions. During that meeting, one commissioner said, "I am not very good at my job," and asked where I live. That was not professional and inappropriate and caused the fire under me to come here to speak to you today. That animosity is displayed by many at LADBS. Multiple clients have said that staff is vindictive and hostile, and I have not spoken about anything because of worry about the reaction that I would face. My colleague also joined me Wednesday to prove an important point. The vast majority of people who work within the city of Los Angeles speak Spanish as their primary language, but Spanish services are not offered. Even in English, navigation is difficult. I asked Council to reaffirm the importance of a cooperative building environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning. DanielGus.substack.com. All items in general public comment.
Daniel
So you have
Gus,
3
he's
minutes
in,
for the
he's
items
in, he's
and 1
in
minute for general public
chambers.
comment.
Let's
Please
get
begin
it.
with the items. Thank you.
Great. Council members, hello, how are you? For identification purposes only, I am not Daniel Gus, the orthopedic surgeon. I am Daniel Gus, the LA Press Club's online journalist of the year.
I'm sorry. Mr. Gus, speak to the agenda, please.
I'm using my time to make sure there's no
You
confusion.
can say that on general public comment. Speak to
Mr.
the
City
agenda.
Attorney, I have a right to identify
Speak
myself
to the
so there's no...
agenda.
Yes, and you have identified yourself. You can continue this during general public comment if you'd like.
And I
but
will
please stick to
re-identify
the agenda.
myself. I will re-identify myself as I deem appropriate. Council members, the REAP program is fantastic. The REAP program is what government should be. When there's a landlord who is taking advantage of individuals, this program holds them accountable until and unless they get their act together. I applaud every single one of the 15 of you. Hugo, John, Kevin, Bob, all of you deserve praise for the rent escrow account program because it helps tenants against landlords who are not playing by the rules. So anybody on these various REAP items, anybody who thinks that I'm not willing to heap praise where it's due, should remember these comments. REAP is one of the best things this city does.
It is, Polly.
Congratulations every time you do that. That's why I'm the LA Press Club's online journalist of the year, because I call it like I see it. REAP works, and I'll always applaud it, even if we disagree on other things. The same way I could say that Mr. Price is actually one of the most likable guys on city council on an interpersonal basis. REAP works. I will hand out praise whenever it's due, and I am Daniel Gus of danielgus.substack.com. In a minute, I'm going to move on to my general. Are we on to general yet, or we still have 1 minute left?
You still are on the items, but you can move to general if you'd like.
No, I don't want to move to general yet, because you cut me off the other day. Item number 23, council members. I should reach out to Mr. Willett's attorney, because a court was ordered to retrofit the City Hall press room, and you haven't done it. So if Mr. Willett's attorneys are here, they can reach out to danielgus.substack.com, or I may reach out to you, because you have a wealth of failed accommodations that you were ordered to provide on the press room, and I suspect that it's because of my exposés about this corrupt government. And Mr. Willits, congratulations on however this is resolved. But to his attorneys, reach out to me. Reach out to me, because I've had a couple spinal surgeries, and the city was ordered to make retrofits to this building, and they haven't done it yet. If I don't hear from you, I may reach out to you, danielgus.substack.com. Hello to my friends at the Smoke and Scan as I go into my general public comment.
General public comment?
danielgus.substack.com. Council members, can you tell me, when PETA showed up here a couple of weeks ago, how come the LAPD didn't let them in for space even though there are photos of rows of empty seats? You are censoring individuals, you censored PETA, and that's why this is a corrupt government. Give people with a grievance the chance to come here and talk to you without keeping them out when you have empty seats. I'm telling you, you're gonna get sued over the way Zoom lowers people's hands. I may be a lead plaintiff. You need to find out why Zoom is lowering hands. Because I have a story this week at danielgus.substack.com about Larry Gross, your Animal Services Commission president, losing a defamation suit, and now he's gonna have to pay for the legal fees of one of your best animal services volunteers. And by the way, I have accused Katie Kepner of the fire department of making homicidal, suicidal threats. Where are you guys during Women's Month? Where are you, David Zonizer?
Thank you.
Oh,
Next
he's
speaker,
awesome.
please.
Shout out to DanielGus.substack.com. DanielGus.substack.com. You want to know what's really happening in LA City?
Good morning.
Go see
Would you
Daniel.
like to speak to?
All items
Daniel.
and public comment, please.
So you have 3 minutes for the items
There's
and 1
one.
minute for general public comment.
Thank you. Being here as many years as I've been, REAP sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think in the past few years it's done a better job of serving the people. Item 16, boy, this is a big one for me. This is the street takeover issue. You know, I want to thank Councilman Lee.
Tire graffiti.
And now that you have your final year, sir, I can go after you on some stuff, but I'll always honor you. Yeah, you got us some extra money, and so every night I usually patrol my neighborhood to make sure it's good. And
He patrols it.
all of a sudden, boy, the police are there, and they're taking care of these individuals who are speeding one after another. And as I pass by, I honk and wave at the officer. Thank you, sir, for doing that. Go down the road a little more. There they are. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You're saving lives. What happens next? I'm going home, and the officer pulls me over, throws on the lights, says, pull over.
Pull your ass
Hands on the wheel. Can I help you, sir? He goes, well, you're interfering with me. And I said, what did I do? He says, well, you honked at me. I go, well, I appreciate what you're doing for me, sir. I've been doing this for many, many years, 50 years with Van Nuys and Devonshire. Hands on the wheel. He repeats that, hands on the wheel. Okay, I'll put my hands on the wheel. So I said, I apologize, and I'll never do that again.
Speaker, you've
All of a
exhausted
sudden,
your 1
this
minute on this
guy-
item. Please move on to another item.
Okay, anyway, another cop goes by. He goes, I got to go now. You're taking me away from my job. So thank you for that extra patrolling. They're doing their job. What is it now? Public comment?
Lick their ass.
If you'd like, or you can speak to any of the other items.
got
for-
it.
I did reap. I have to honor that woman over there, Miss Hernandez. I tried to call on Tuesday, but whoever the crook is here that still works with Miss Martinez denied me. You, my lady, I wish I had a rose so I could give you.
So bring
because
it to an agenda item,
this is
please,
public
Mr. Mars.
comment.
No, now, it wasn't, but now it can be if
Thank
you'd like.
you,
So
sir.
give him his full minute, please,
I
for
respect
public
you. I'm
comment.
not,
So,
anyway,
general public
ma'am,
comment.
no, she deserves this. She deserves this. Second chance programs and what's happening. The Kardashians, the beautiful ladies, not only beautiful, but hearts are doing this. You, Miss Hernandez, don't be afraid to look at me. You deserve it. You deserve the credit for that. All those individuals, when you watch them, most people weren't watching, but their faces, they lit up because they were given a second chance. Los Angeles is the city of second chance. You're looking at a man that was sent from Pueblo, Colorado as a 19-year-old that was given a chance, and this city gave me that chance. That's why I hate taggers and what they're doing to our city. So thank you for bringing forth, and I'm going to keep an eye on you. One day I'm going to bring you a bouquet of roses because I don't want to see what happened to other politicians, happen to you or anybody else. Look at the guy that played for the Dodgers, right? The speaker guy. I mean, he loses everything. For what? Don't let your heart be led a different way. You stay focused and true.
Thank you.
Speaker, your time is
The
expired.
great
My
pan,
message on this council
Thank you.
now.
the great
Next
panderer,
speaker, please.
everybody. The great panderer.
Good morning. Which
Rob
items would you
Kwan.
like to speak to?
Shout out to Rob Kwan.
There's a lot of chatter right now, so I was wondering if the chair could get a hold of the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
So your time to speak on the agenda is now, Mr. Kwan, if you'd like to speak on the agenda.
Tell him, Rob.
I'd like to speak on all items in general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the
That
items
ain't
and
50
1 minute
guns.
for
I
general
took that
public
name
comment.
back.
Please
I gave
begin
it
with
to
the
him. I
item.
took it back. He's
I
the great
appreciate the chair
panderer.
allowing all these disruptions. I hope that continues. And on
Speak
these
to the
agenda
agenda.
items, I'd like to know, Grote, do you feel okay with a council member voting on these items if they haven't filled out their Form 700? Does that make you feel uneasy because you and I can't determine whether or not they have a conflict of interest?
It's because it's zoomed
I'm
in,
just
dude.
wondering
It's
because
not
the
in
due
140
date for your
October.
Form 700s
It's
was on
actually in high
Tuesday.
def.
And yesterday I asked for them all, and one of our council members did not turn theirs in.
See?
So I'm feeling merciful, and I'm just going to say, if you get it in this afternoon, we'll forget about it. Otherwise, I might just try to pull all the Form 700s for all your senior staff
Hi, Terry.
and try to do an audit and see who else is fucking up. Your choice, your choice. I
Tell
also
'em,
just
Rob.
want to remind everybody for my general public comment, before anybody gets grumpy.
Okay, general public comment.
It has been 253 days that our council president has failed to abide by his charter requirement to appoint someone to the Ethics Commission. That's there for good reason, Paul, to ensure that there's no horse trading.
Hi, Gravy.
To ensure there's no politicization. Speaking of the rampant corruption that runs around this horseshoe, it has been 1,584 days since this goddamn council did a single thing to address a single aspect of corruption in this city. 4 members indicted since then. Look at the way Paul's tapping his hand down there. He really doesn't like it. Well, do something about it, bro.
Be
It's been
about
a year
it.
and a half,
Pull
over
up.
a year and a half, and you haven't brought up charter ethics reform. You think you hate me now? Give it a few weeks. I've got a lot of fun in store for you.
I love it, Rob.
Have a nice weekend.
I fucking love it.
Maybe schedule ethics charter reform and we can have a fun time.
Next speaker.
Thank you, Rob. Rob Kwan, man. I love it. Under over 21. Remember, under over 21.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
All items and general comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin.
All right. So 13, 14, 15 are all REAP items. That doesn't do a lot. It just basically, does some, basically gets some REAP, but it doesn't really help unhoused people. It's just, it puts some money into a bank and, to pay for repairs that the landlord's refusing to do, and then does then you go in and put it in the, but then it just all goes to the landlord, all the money, after that.
What a fucking moron this
And
dude
it's
is.
not helping them, maybe if the building's in so much disrepair, they could waive rent for a while, since clearly it's not up to the value that they're being charged for it. So yeah, let's see. We have item 16 related from Blumenfield and the indicted one over there, Price, for street takeovers. Is really doing the priorities right now. What's being passed out? Because the council members shouldn't be distracted with that right now. So it's street takeovers. So no on that. Don't need money done towards that. I guess it's like some kind of motion supporting some thing in the assembly, but let's not do that. All right, let's go on to general comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
We got Paul up there. Are you all okay with this guy running the meeting? Paul is currently about to be under ethics investigation, probably, for his continuous rampant campaigning for Adrian Nazarian, using his official position as council president. He put out a press release using his council office press release endorsing Adrian Nazarian for city council. He's not taking it down. He's just, and he's continued. He brought Adrian Nazarian to the city hall a couple weeks ago. He keeps campaigning for Adrian Nazarian using his position as council president. And all of you seem to be okay with that, since we haven't seen since he still refuses to resign. We haven't seen the motion to remove him yet. Where is that? You also just apparently are okay with this guy running the meeting for some reason and just continuing to be council president. KDL needs to resign.
Thank you. Next
Oh,
speaker,
the unders
please.
win.
And
Most
as
of
our
you
next
said
speaker is
over, so
coming
most of you
forward-
lost. The unders win.
As our next speaker is
16.
coming forward, I'd like to call out a couple
Bro, he
of
got so
names.
stumbled on what
Somebody
REAP
who
is.
signed up as
All it
Miss
is the
Karen,
money that's coming
as
in for the
well
rent gets
as
held in an
Rick
escrow account till you fix
Condal
everything that's fixed. City approves the fixes, saying you did everything right.
Those
then
are
they
the
give
only
the money
people that I
back.
have
That's
who
what a
signed
REAP
up here
item
in the
is.
chambers.
That's what REAP does
Ms.
there, sir.
Richardson, good morning.
Simple and easy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Please begin.
Since about 20 years ago or more, jobs for black men have eroded. One of the reasons may be this situation. This Mexican man asked this black man, "Why are you messing with my girl?" Said, "Messing with your girl? She came after me. I didn't go after her." Since that time, black jobs have eroded. They don't want us working with them because we're angry. We are so angry. They say we're so angry, working with one of us is like working with a battleship, and they don't want to touch any of us.
I agree. Sometimes the battleships
One problem
are
may
crazy.
be because we don't have eat enough food. That may be a problem. Another problem may be because we don't have enough food. We don't. Instead of doing the whole job, we do half of the job. The jobs are not available to us because of race relationships. We don't leave the women alone, and because we're angry.
Your time has
Thank you
expired.
very much. Thank
We
you.
don't
Have a
leave
good
their
day.
women
Next
alone,
speaker,
and we're
please.
angry because we don't eat enough. That's fantastic. I love her, dude. I love her. I love her, dude.
Good morning. Which
so
items
much.
would you like to
She is
speak
my
to?
girl.
Thank you, Mr. Can I have all item, please?
Battleship
So you have
crazy.
3 minutes for the items.
Thank you. And also public comment.
Love this dude.
Start with item number 13.
So item number 13
Hopefully it does
has
it
been
in-
continued, so
in
it's not
Mandarin
open for
again.
public
So
comment,
it's
but there are
okay,
other
let's
REAP
go to
items.
number 14 then.
Okay.
Start with 14 with LAHD. 现在在网络视频上很多这些特别的那些车呀，那些非法的赛车呀，把这些每一个路上的街口啊、红绿灯啊，马上他们都把他们完全的霸占。所以说我认为就是这个第14项，我们一定要加强洛杉矶警察局在每一个路口设置红绿灯，设置那些摄像头。所以说让这些人每一次他们做了这些事情，
I
所以
believe
说
so,
他们可以
Swede.
得到严惩。所以说可以让洛杉矶的每一条街道变得更平安。So now let's move on to
speaks
number
better
23.
English than I do. He's just trolling
It is
them.
about the American with Disability Act, and it is about the sidewalk. I really have a concern about the American with Disability Act because in several different, I don't know if it's a Los Angeles public property or is that a private property, in several instances that I want to use the elevator, but the elevator is not there. In several instances that where I want to use the elevator, but the elevator is out of service. So I do believe there's a huge violation of American with Disability Act in the city of LA, not only in city of LA, but in the bus stop, metro bus stop within the city of LA. And then there are certain instances that when the LA DOT bus running inside of city LA, where their ramp is not working, they have to pass up on the wheelchair. So that is a huge violation of the American with Disability Act. I'm very concerned about that. Now let's move on to number 16, which is my favorite, the street takeover. So the number 16 is, it is really, I'm not surprised with this criminal street takeover because there's no consequence. So right now, it doesn't matter if it's a street takeover or it's a looting, rioting, raping, killing, whatever kind of criminal activity, there's no consequence, very little consequence. So that's the reason why that those street takeover will occur over and over again. Now we lost 1,300 LAPD officers. If we have those 1,300 LAPD officers, we can put them in every street of the corner inside the city of LA. And then if we have more LAPD in the major intersection of the LAPD, I guarantee you there will be no more street takeover if we see LAPD right there. Now, let's move on to public comment.
General public comment.
So right now, we are talking about street takeover. We're going to the Figueroa Street. I see those prostitute takeover. When I see the shopping mall, I see the looter takeover. When I see the, on the airport, I see those illegal protest takeover. So right now, and then in the city hall right here, I see the corruption takeover. And then when I see my council member Hernandez, I see the overweight takeover. So right now, everything I see right here is a takeover, and then we are talking about systemic racism. Why LAPD are not enforce the law when the suspect is black? Why, when LAPD is afraid to enforce the law? Why, instead of handcuff the criminal, why we handcuff the LAPD? So instead of protecting the citizen, why we are giving second chance to the criminal? Because I know the victim will never have a second chance, but right now we are giving third chance to the criminal.
Speaker, your time has expired.
Love that
Next
dude.
speaker, please.
Shout out to him, man. Fucking love him. You gotta love him. Totally trolled him. Spoken 2 languages. There we go. Viewer discretion.
Morning. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Yes, thank you. Is it Buckethead? Pumpkinhead.
Speak to the agenda item or go to general public comment.
I'm trying. Jesus. Number fucking 14. CD fucking 13. See what I have to fucking do to fucking talk, Hugo, on this fucking item on fucking West fucking Bellevue fucking Avenue. Fucking ID number 5 fucking 4 fucking 0 fucking 1 fucking dash fucking 0 fucking 2 fucking 2 dash fucking 0 fucking 1 fucking 6. Fucking approve the fucking LHD fucking recommendation fucking dated fucking March fucking 27 fucking 2020 fucking 4. I'll play your fucking game.
Oh, there's a new drop right here.
So we're just here to say a good job. That's why the puppet wanted to say. Go ahead. You're doing a good job on this item, Hugo. Now clean up the encampment underneath the 101 freeway next to it. Then we get to number 15. That's right.
Yeah,
the person who looks like Dave Chappelle on number 15, if he had a real head of hair, that is. And thank you to Harris Marchese Dawson Dildo for getting rid of this program on West 22nd Street, a certified shithole. Kevin one time tried to go down there, but he had nowhere to park. Not because there were not parking spaces, but because if he parked, he'd lose all the rims on his car. It's a real shithole down there. Aren't you glad the rest of you don't have to represent that fucking shithole? I think you should pay people to live on that street. I wouldn't live there, and I'm sure Pumpkinhead would never go down there if he had to serve papers. Jesus, what a fucking shithole on that item. And then we get to the street takeovers. Rum, rum. It's time for Dodger baseball on the streets. Yes, as we do wheelies. This is what Eunices calls social interaction. She likes it when people get together and modify their mufflers on their cars and do donuts. This is what young people do. And then they go on the internet and they post it. And then John Lee calls the police, and they say, fuck you, Staffer B, you're going to prison. I'm not going to go up there and start that takeover. But how come Kevin calls the police, and they go to his district and stop the street takeovers on the 6th Street Bridge? How come? Because they know he's dangerous. Yes, he's dangerous, yes. And how about the rest of you? When are you going to start your takeovers, Imelda? Over there on Burbank Boulevard in Woodley. You're not doing anything about it. And then
General
we get
public
to
comment?
today's comment. Yes, Tracy Park has brought another ugly jacket into these chambers. Let's give her a hand.
No, it's the same puppet he's wearing.
It's important
It's the same
because
puppet he's got on.
Katie
Same one.
Yaroslavsky was leading the race on the most ugliest jackets by council members. Now, Park is ahead by 1. That's why she walked out in shame. Jesus Christ, that ugly red jacket with that pretty black outfit. Yesterday, an ugly green jacket with a black outfit. Do any of you have any fashion sense? How about Imelda? Give her some fashion sense. Jesus Christ. And then, of course, we have the elections going on. And then we have a scandal by Buckethead. Pat McOsker. Did you know he has a house in his district filled with trash, and he doesn't do a goddamn fucking thing about it? Shame on Buckethead. Oh, here's Tracy back here. Get rid of that jacket, Tracy. Donate it to the 99-cent store.
Next speaker,
Which just went out of business. Ah, shout out to Spindler. Thank you so much, Gene. You rock. Thank you, Gene. Good
My name is Rick.
And which items would you like to speak to?
I would like to talk about Proposition 1 and someone who I have on videotape. His name is Kevin DeLeon. With Proposition 1,
Another
they came
video?
to a building and discussed me. How can I be in an hour video and you got 10 minutes of me? And Mr. Kevin DeLeon and the chief that was there, the public should know what's going on. This is a secret meeting. I got it on video, how they were talking about me and also downtown Skid Row. Y'all can't see it yet, but there's some people that want to see it. Mr. Kevin DeLeon, I asked him one day, when I saw him, I want to talk to him about Proposition 1. He told me, I don't stay here. I'm not Kevin DeLeon. And here it is. There's other people like the sanitation department. And Mr. Kevin DeLeon is the one that's behind him. He sent people to clean up 2 streets on Winston and San Pedro. Nobody else street get done double like that. I have no avenue to go to. If you did, say, 5th Street and San Pedro at the same time, you have chaos. Mr. Kevin DeLeon is trying to get votes to get back in.
Speaker, your time has
All right.
expired.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they crushed
We'll
out
go
the 99
next to
cent
our
stores.
callers on the phone.
371 of them
Let's
are
go ahead and
closing. I
take
think it
the
was
first caller,
12,000 jobs lost. They're doing their best to
First caller, which items would
cut
you like
out
to
everybody and their resources
All
to
items,
eat
please, on
cheaply.
general public comment.
Okay, so
Oh,
you have
there's
3
Stacy.
minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you again,
Please
Gene.
begin with the items.
All right, excellent. So we have start off the rent escrow account program item, aka REAP. Now, I'm just curious why Daniel Guest thinks this is so successful and how it's actually holding landlords accountable. Because while the landlord can't touch rent money until they've made certain abatements, the tenants whose rights have been violated and whose lease contracts are not being upheld, they still have to pay their full amount of rent, and they never see any restitution. All they get is problems fixed that they should have never had to deal with in the first place. So, Daniel Guest, I appreciate a lot of what you do, but I'm not with you on this one, because how is the landlord being held accountable when they just get their money at the end of the day anyway? I've never had a job where I could fail my end, not do my work, but then just still get everything I was owed if I recoup the things I made mistakes on in whatever amount of time. That's not really how the world works for like working folks like me or for tenants. So it just doesn't make sense, because typically when someone violates a contract, it breaks the contract, and then the other party in the contract isn't obligated to uphold their end. But when it comes to the owning class, to corporations, to landlords, then there's really no rules. It's just a little stern talking to from their buddies in the government, and then, you know, they're just told, hey, okay, now, you put it back, okay, now here's your money after you put it back. We treat the landlords and bosses and CEOs like they're toddlers.
It's the bag.
You know, like 1, 2, 3, and then it's time out. And after your time out, then you can have the ice cream. We can't keep doing this. We need to say, if a landlord's
So,
not going to uphold their
caller,
end of the
you've
deal,
used your
they
2
don't get
minutes
to be-
on the REAP items. Please move on to another item.
Stacy, what about the people that don't pay rent on time?
REAP items, bro.
So, as
That's
announced earlier in the
99%
meeting,
of
item
people
number
pay
13
late
has been
sometimes.
continued and is
What
not
about
open
them?
for public comment. You're welcome to continue
Okay,
during
great.
general
So
if
then
you'd
let's
like.
talk on 16 then. I don't think it is fair to punish bystanders regarding street takeovers. I don't like cars. I'm as anti-motorist as they come, and you're not going to find me being very sympathetic to people drag racing. But that's, I don't know. I just think that our city can do better, more important things with our resources and focus on getting pedestrian infrastructure and street lights and things like that, making the roads safer for people. I don't know if these tactics are really helping. So with that,
General public
working
comment.
for the city of Los Angeles
Name the
is
tune.
interesting. The council's body claims to care, but they fail to do anything to help the people speak during meetings. But Grote says their goal is to hear as many they can, but they've been lowering the caller's hands.
Time after time.
Correcting these violations isn't even in their plans. Then Nithya tells us everything is grand. We're so lost when I look, you're not listening. Heaven resign. Nithya Raman's a grifter, always lying. Nithya, she lies. It's so wrong when we speak, you're not listening. Paul should resign. Heaven resign. Nithya resign. All you fuckers resign. Shout out Smoke and Scam, love you.
Ah, there's two. Shout out to you, Stacy.
Okay. Thank you.
Again,
Cyndi Lauper.
you know,
Next
I hate
caller.
to say it, Stacy, though, but
Next
there's plenty
caller,
of
which
people
items
that
would you
do
like to
break
speak
their
on?
side of it. They break things.
Good morning, nerds and virgins. Brock Landers.
morning.
Los
They
pay
Angeles
late.
private
Which items would you like to
investigator.
speak
All open
to?
items.
What's
So
General
you
public
have
comment.
3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
All right, the street takeovers. The Great Pander. Getting pulled over for honking your horn is a violation of your First Amendment right. Watch the stalking of Miss Hernandez. It's getting a little creepy. That's one of the reasons that Damon at Smoke and Scan took away your name 50 Guns and changed it to the Great Panderer. REAP. I don't know a lot about REAP. I'm not as educated on it as I should be. I do know if award-winning journalist Daniel Gust at danielgust.substack.com is for it, I think that's a good indication. I don't know how the surgeon Daniel Gust feels about it, but since we're not talking about removing the stick from Paul or Bob's ass, I don't think it matters what a surgeon thinks. I'm basing my opinion on what Daniel Gust at danielgust.substack.com thinks. No offense, Stacy. We love you. General public comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
I learned something or figured something out after the last meeting. I find it amusing that you guys always say public comment is satisfied, and you don't seem to understand why the public gets upset and they feel that it's not satisfied. You guys seem confused by that. And then it hit me. It's been so long since any of you had satisfied anybody, you're confused about what it means. So maybe if you guys try harder in some other aspects of your life, you'll understand why all the people here are not satisfied with what you think is decent. So everybody have a good, safe weekend, and another shout-out to Stinks and Damon and Smoking Scans, and get in here, Jason.
The law enforcement type of guy
Next caller.
hired by people to stop these bad
Next caller, which items would you like to speak
That's
on?
4. Shout out to Brock. Great call today, Brock. Great call. I love the nerds and virgins. It gets me every time.
Caller with the last 4 digits, 4610. Please go ahead.
Jason, is that you?
All right, can you hear me?
Nope, that's
Yes,
Fist.
we can hear you. Which items would you like to speak to?
That's Stacy's man.
I heard there were some changes. Can you tell me what items are available, please, and also all available? I'm sorry, general public comment.
So the items that are open for public comment are 14 through 16 and item 23. So you have 3 minutes for those
I
items.
love Daniel
and 1
Gus,
minute for
man.
general
He's a
public
freedom
comment. Please
fighter,
begin with
man.
the items.
He's fighting for us, putting it all
All
on
right,
blast.
thank you very much. Item 14 is a REAP item. REAP is another R word. Another R word I like to describe REAP is retarded. It's retarded the social contract into oblivion. When someone doesn't uphold their end of a contract, it's broken. And usually that contract lists enforcement measures to hold both parties accountable should they violate their end of the contract. Now, when your landlord paints over power outlets and door hinges and makes windows unusable and makes the entire molding around the floor not even attached to the floor, allowing bugs all up in the apartment, you're not allowed to pay less rent. When the laundry machine stops working and they raise the price on laundry despite it being dilapidated and not working, you're not allowed to pay less rent. You're not allowed to withhold your rent. But for whatever reason, if there's a hole above your bed and shit falling through, they can just take the money that you would have paid them, put in a cute little box, and then when the landlord gets around to it, they get the money back. That's not an enforcement of a contract. Item number 16, further street takeover criminalizing. I think it's interesting how there's no effort to take care of anything in this city until somebody makes the city look bad and points at it and gets enough attention on it. How many streets have had street takeovers in neighborhoods that none of y'all give a fuck about. But the moment it starts to look bad in an area where, you know, somebody with money or wears a suit has to look at it, all of a sudden laws have to be made. How long did that Ocean View, whatever the fuck apartment building, sit there? Years, 40 stories, abandoned with graffiti before someone pointed at it during an award show for it to even get any attention? The same thing with these street takeovers. It's such bullshit. Nobody fucking cares. It's all just to make it look like you're doing something for the city while it falls apart. And the street takeovers, it's bad when somebody gets hurt. But really, what's the big deal? Well, it makes a lot of noise. Okay, no one cares about the
Speaker, you've
police
exhausted your 1 minute on this
making a bunch
item.
of noise.
You're welcome to continue on general, but please move on to another item for now.
Gotcha. All right, that's another item 15. I wonder if I went into City Hall, went behind the horseshoe, and stole Paul Krikorian's laptop with all God knows what's on it.
You mean like hunters?
If they would, well, how would that work? Do I get to just give it back later, or am I gonna face some kind of penalty? Are the police gonna fucking beat the shit out of me in front of everybody, throw me in a cell, hold me for days, and I'll have to face a judge? Or will I get to just
General public
give it
comment?
back? General public comment. Yo, MAGA Karen, listen, man, you'd like to say black this, black that, so let me talk to you in a language you understand. Chinaman, please stop demanding that we give up our rights. You are fucking bugging. You love talking all this praise about Texas and other states. You know what they're allowed to have? Their Second Amendment rights. Stop demanding they take away our rights and further police us, and start demanding that we get our gun rights back. This generation and their fucking phones. If you look at City Hall, you can see all the police up in there on their phones. I've been there in person. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to fascism, democracy, any semblance of a government order. What we need to do is stage sit-ins and small businesses getting evicted, and then maybe they can help us afterwards with our actions and protests. We need to unite with the small businesses and start taking over this city by force, because power gives up nothing without demands, and it's sure as fuck not giving up anything without a struggle. That being said, LA Valley Gun Club.
Caller, your
is looking
time
for
has
members.
expired.
Email-
Next caller.
Ah, they dropped it right before he
Next
got the
caller,
LA
which items
gun
would you like
club
to
in
speak
there.
on?
No, that's not Stinks. That's his cat. He ain't feeding it. Kitty's hungry.
Caller with
Hello?
the
Yes, we can hear you. Which items would you like to speak to?
General comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin.
Hi, my name is Brian Kowalczyk, and I'm a handicapped 70-year-old senior. And good morning, Mr. Krikorian. The 120-day City Council Ordinance 188-109 that expires at the end of May gives us ULA ERAP-approved tenants some breathing room, but landlords who haven't yet participated, like mine, can still file an unlawful detainer for the COVID background on June 1st, which means I would be at the mercy of a judge, regardless if I'm represented by an attorney or how many affirmative defenses I may have, and I could end up homeless. So I would appreciate if City Council could perhaps pass an emergency version of the state's UD 125 document, application to prevent forfeiture due to COVID-19 rental debt. The landlord previously served me 3-day notices at the beginning of February, but I believe that the 188-109 ordinance made them reconsider filing the unlawful detainer notice. But I believe that my landlord has decided to wait for 188-109 to expire before they
Caller,
try to
your time has
evict me
expired.
again.
Next caller.
next caller, which items would you like to speak on?
So the speaker, before we take the next caller, the speaker in the gray winter coat who appears to be moving towards the back of the council chambers, please do not disrupt this meeting. This is your first and only formal warning. Sorry. Caller, go ahead. Which items would you like to speak to?
Hi. Good morning. I like to speak on
Lobster?
which items of street takeover. Is that number 16?
Is that
yes.
lobster?
So,
No,
are
that's
there
not
any other items that you'd like to speak to?
And general public comment, please.
Okay. So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin.
Okay. Okay. Let me know when I'm in general public comment.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, City Council members. So yes, I do support this item. There needs to be more to be done to address the street takeovers. My suggestion would be is to give these the car enthusiasts who were involved in the street takeovers find them a location where they can go to an area where they can do their stunts driving wherever in a location where it's designated for that. And I'm pretty sure there are plenty of locations for that. Second thing is install cameras at every intersection where there's traffic light, so that way you guys can know when there's a street takeover happening. At least you can
They can
have
look online and
police
see it.
response right away. And that's basically a good
General
idea
public comment?
that we need to.
What kind of
Yes,
money that
okay,
would
general
cost?
public comment.
Billions.
On Tuesday and Wednesday, I've been on this phone trying to get through to you guys to make public comment. I haven't been able to get through. And the problem that I have with this city council is that you guys say that concludes public comment while I was waiting on the phone to speak, and I don't get my turn. And I just want you guys to stop violating the Brown Act, because this is happening over and over and over, and you have a city with over 4 million people who want to make public comment can't. So my suggestion is stop violating the Brown Act, or else your city's going to continue to get sued for violating the Brown Act because you're not letting everybody speak. Please let people speak. I mean, this is ridiculous. I have to call in and wait just to get through. Finally, I was able to get through today, and I love this city so much. I would love to come and make public comment every time you guys have a city council meeting, an item, but it's just not
Caller,
right.
your time
you
has
guys
expired.
Don't let everybody speak.
And I didn't want to interrupt the last caller, but whoever booed in the middle of the public comment, please do not do so. I believe it came from the right side of the council chambers. I need to be able to hear the people who are speaking.
Oh, you ain't listening.
Next
Stop
caller.
it, Grote. You're not listening to any
Next
of them.
caller, which items would you like to speak on?
General public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Please begin.
Good morning, council members for Paul Krikorian, Lionel Morris, Sun Valley Area Neighborhood Council, speaking as an individual. Mr. Krikorian, I'm kind of disappointed that at the last minute you didn't show up at our meeting for meet and greet on Thursday. Very disappointed on that. Number two, please consider agendizing, reviving the ad hoc committee on governance reform, charter reform, because we really want to get this done as soon as possible. Mr. Krikorian, you have the authority to do so. So please listen to our calls. Number three, the neighborhood council system is still broken, and I hope that the next general manager will help fix the issues that we are experiencing. Because we're getting mixed messages from the NEAs, the Neighborhood Empowerment Advocates, in the City Attorney Advice Division, and we're getting mixed messages about and things like SB 411 and teleconferencing. So, and number four, please bring back teleconference public comment.
Caller, your time has expired.
No more callers in the queue.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Come on, where's
That will
Jason?
close public comment on all
You
agenda
know
items.
Jason
Close
was
general
up in there.
public
You
comment.
know he was. You know he
So
was.
with that, Madam Clerk, what is available for us now to vote on?
They just choosing who they
Miss-
want, how many they want, and they're done.
Items 14 and 15 can be voted on now, sir.
Boo!
Very good. Item 14 and 15 are before us. I see no members wishing to be heard, so let's go ahead and open the roll. Close the roll and... Oh, hold on 1 second.
They banned Jason. Well, I don't think they did that. I think they just pick
Okay.
and choose, and
Items
I guarantee
14
you
and
somebody
15
knows
are
the
before
numbers.
us. Again, let's open the roll.
And if you do private number,
Close
they
the roll
probably
and
aren't picking
tabulate
on
the
you at
votes.
all.
12 ayes.
Figure it's trolling anyway.
Thank you. Item 16 is now before us, and
is
there was a
technically against the
substitute
law.
motion on item
Not
16 that
technically,
was
it is.
distributed.
All right, everybody.
So, members, we have two votes. The first vote is on the motion to substitute, and then we'll vote on the substituted motion if that passes. So the first vote is on whether to substitute on that item. If there's no
Maybe
member
he's
wishing
over
to be
it.
heard, let's open the
Could be
roll.
working too. Lots of things.
Close the
I
roll
doubt
and
it though.
tabulate the votes.
I think Jason was probably up.
12 ayes.
Thank you. The substitute motion on item 16 is now before us. On the substance of that motion, if there's no member wishing to be heard on item 16, the substitute motion, let's open the roll.
Yeah, we're gonna be back in Dalton on Monday, guys.
Close
Remember,
the roll,
4:30
tabulate the votes.
p.m. Pacific time.
10 ayes, 2 noes.
They're reconvening.
Thank you. That will take us next to
So
item number 11.
We'll
which
go
was
check them
called
out on
special
Monday.
by
It should be some
Councilmember
good
Padilla.
fireworks, seeing how they
Councilmember
didn't really
Padilla, would
get
you like
through
to
the
be heard
meeting.
on item
They didn't
number
do any
11?
work. They
Thank you so much.
gathered and then adjourned.
Well,
quickly.
in regards to the proposed contracts, I recognize that the approval of these budgets is necessary and common practice to maintain the uninterrupted functions of our airports. However, these are sizable contracts, and I think the city must be cognizant on the monetary expenditures of our airports and ensure that the outcomes are result-driven, which is the best interest of the city, the airports, and our residents. I encourage LAWA to work with CD6 and related districts in respect to Van Nuys Airport contracts, guidelines, and policy. One of these contracts is proposed to include ultimate guidelines through a task order for the landscaping of Van Nuys Airport. Landscape guidelines will
he
also
thinks
be addressed
cameras-
through my
like,
motion
he thinks people give a fuck about
23-1339 in the development of a
dummy.
new Van Nuys Airport specific plan. Landscaping plays an important role in the mitigation of pollution and in beautifying CD6 for both airport users and the surrounding communities. As someone who grew up with the love of gardening and
Quite a few of
landscaping,
those
thanks to my
cars are
father who was a
stolen,
gardener,
so it doesn't matter.
sustainable landscape is an important component of environmental management. Therefore, I look forward to LAWA collaborating with my office in consideration of native selection and more greenery to mitigate pollution generated by its operations and just its general aesthetics. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Padilla. Now, you had also called item 12 special
They don't
for
understand
comment,
how
so
to.
could we
They
take
think
those
cameras
items up
are
together?
gonna.
That was for both.
People give a fuck
And we can
about
take them up
cameras. They
to
don't.
vote together then. So,
They don't care.
If there's no other member wishing to be heard on item
They're gonna
11
do what
and
they do.
12, let's go ahead
What?
and open the roll,
It's not time yet.
close the roll,
Yeah,
and
40
tabulate the
minutes.
votes.
Then you can eat.
12 ayes.
Mr. President, there's a request to send 11 and 12 forthwith, sir.
Without objection, that will be the order.
Or we'll do it in 13 minutes at 11:30, huh? Okay? Stinkings. Yeah. They just, they throw money at problems thinking it's going to solve it, and that's not going to solve any of it. You want to solve it, it's quite simple, actually. All you do is go create a task force, have a ton of cops on that task force, block them off on every goddamn intersection, and every car that's in there you take that was doing that shit. And you have undercovers, so that way people, you know who was there, and not just some innocent motorist that stuck 7 cars back. But most of the time, the motorists will turn around and get out of the way. Jack, thank you so much, Jack. I'm just saying, it's if you really wanted to do it, that's how they did it back in the day with street racing here, because there was no such thing as street takeovers. People weren't doing that. So they would take your car and literally crush it. Whether you owed money on it, whether it was yours and it had all kinds of money, that's how you stop it.
All right, Madam Clerk.
And you offer
are
them
there any
to their
other
end.
items on
You
the
offer them a
general,
safe space
on
to
the
do
regular
it.
meeting
Pomona
agenda that we can
Fairplex
take
or
up
wherever.
now, other than the closed
Friday,
session
Saturday nights, they can go there and
no,
have
sir.
fun and do it
So
legally.
closed session, item
No,
3
no,
left.
no problems at
All
all.
right,
Problem with
then
that
we
is
will
insurance.
proceed
Who's
now
insuring it?
into the closed session
One
portion of our
person,
meeting.
again, they bring a lot of
So,
guns to these events.
to
One person gets
members
shot,
of the
it's
public
over.
who are here in the audience, I'd like to ask you to step out so we can begin with the closed session part of our meeting.
Have them drop spike strips. Well, again, there's too many cars, and again, you don't want. Oh, it's closed session, I guess. Look at Spindler. Look at Spindler. So that's it, guys. Whoa, that was a quick one today. That was a quickie. Here, let's go to the bar. Go hang out at the bar for a little bit here. Boy, she's about to burst out of that top. She can't do too much more dancing. Yeah, I just think that's really the way. If you really want to break it down, but if people don't want to spend the money, then that requires the DA to file charges on everybody. And again, we here in the city of Los Angeles, we have a DA that basically you could almost do anything and it's okay. Like they love the crime, they love the filth, they love the decay, and he's definitely a contributor. You know, he's an enabler. He enables them to continue to do it over and over and over with no consequence. Kind of like the guy from China was saying, the guy with the pink hoodie. I don't know what his name is because he's always signing up as funny names. I don't know what his real name is. But that's really how it works. I mean, if you really wanted the problem solved, you'd solve it. Just like homelessness. If you really wanted it solved, you'd solve it. But it makes more money not solving it. It's all about the money. Just like cancer. I'm sure plenty of cancer types have been fucking cured. I would be willing to bet. But it's more profitable to keep you sick. To keep buying those pills and everything else. Okay? They sit there and find cures to everything, then you're all going to be good and you ain't going to buy any of their stuff. If you didn't learn that, I mean, they fucking sponsored the goddamn Super Bowl. And the Kansas City Chief fucking moron, Kelsey. Okay? That's what it's all about. It's about keeping you sick and poor. Okay? Why do you think the 99-cent stores, and then they finally shut them down? They finally crushed them out, you know, to where they couldn't be a part of anything anymore. And now they went to the dollar store, to the $2 to $3 store, and that margin went away. Now 371 stores, 12,000 jobs gone like that. And who goes to the 99-cent stores? Usually it's not wealthy folks. Usually it's folks that are living paycheck to paycheck. They don't have a whole lot. So they need to be able to get that milk for $1 and not $3 from fucking Ralph's. You know what I mean? So you're taking away a lot. Yeah, starving the poor out, making them pay more and more till they go completely broke. And then you'll have to be on their welfare system, which is nothing but a trap. They're just feeding you a certain amount of crumbs every month. They find out you do anything on the side, or you decide, well, wait, the crumbs aren't enough. I need some more money to live because I don't have enough to live. You go out and get a part-time job at Jack in the Box. They find out you're working at Jack in the Box. They kick you off the welfare. So that's how that works. You know? Well, yes, the REAP item, Tim, is a very, you know, again, people were on both sides. Daniel was for it. Stacy was against it. I understand the meaning of it, and I actually understand both sides of the argument. You know, Stacy says, well, there's no penalty after them getting their money back. Well, the penalty is you're creating abatement and you're holding their money for however long it is. And again, they could be earning interest on it. They could be paying bills with that money. And I could tell you, there's 99% of the people that have ever lived in any apartment or house that pay rent have paid it late at least one time. And that's just real. We've all had a check late that came to us, so we couldn't afford to pay or whatever. And I'm paying you on the third and maybe not the first. That happens frequently. A lot. And there's a lot of times they can invoke, you know, a $60 fee because you're late, and a lot of times they don't. So you got to look at the apple from every angle. And again, we're lumping them all together, right? You're lumping every landlord into being the super. Remember Joe Pesci, the super? If you change one light bulb, you're out of the will. You remember that movie? Yes, those people exist. They absolutely do. But you must split hairs. Because not all landlords are like that. And not all landlords are billionaires that have tons and tons of property. Some of them have just one property. They don't own it. They have to pay Wells Fargo every month. So they need that rent money. And they hope that you don't break shit. And they're fair with you sometimes. And again, landlords don't ever walk out on the street and grab you by the neck and drag you inside the unit and say, hey, you're paying that rent. You're living here and you're going to pay my rent. It's up to yourself to find a good landlord. And again, when you're looking around at places, you can kind of tell who's a good landlord and who isn't. Is the property taken care of outside? Is the lawn cut? Is the gardener coming every week? Is it clean? You can kind of see that. So then when you go in, ones that are clean outside are generally clean and new inside. Why? Because they want to make their money. Okay? And that's just how that works. So you got to look at it from both angles. Again, is there good tenants? Absolutely. There's ones that fix their own shit when they don't even bother the landlord, take really good care of it. They don't even look like they lived there, and they were there 5 fucking years. And they cleaned the floors and wiped out everything, and it's spotless as they left, just like the day they came in. Then there's ones that are garbage, that break everything. You know, they think their fucking garbage disposal's a wood chipper, and they're throwing shit in there every 2 minutes, and it's clogging the sink. You're calling the plumber 5 times in 1 year. Okay? It's not a wood chipper. So again, we can look at this on both sides all day long. All day long. Okay? There's good and there's bad in everyone. We go over this with cops. There's plenty of great cops. There's plenty of bad cops. Do we like the bad cops? No. We don't like them just like we don't like the bad landlords. But it's the yin to the yang. Okay? And they got to be bad before you can deem them that. Clogged toilets. Yeah, they're flushing things they shouldn't be flushing down a toilet. Then it's your fault. That's why I always tell people that don't know kind of what they want to do, and they like, a good thing is always a plumber, man. Especially, I tell all the dudes, it's a good trade. You know, a lot of people think of it as, I don't want to be a plumber. Deal. Man, I gotta tell you, it's dirtier than an electrician, but I would venture to say you make more money than an electrician, because you'd end up calling the plumber way more during the year than you will an electrician. Okay? You'll sit there for a while with a broken light, one broken light in your house. Right? You'll wait 6 months to call that dude to get him over there for his $50, $60, $100 an hour job or whatever the fuck it is. But the toilet ain't working, the sink's clogged up, you're calling the plumber. And he's going to come bang that shit out and make really good money fast. You know what I mean? On to the next one. So I think, and it's a trade that's never going to go away. You could move to fucking any state, any country, any continent. A plumber's a plumber. You're good at plumbing, you're going to have a job. It's almost like a medical field job. So, yeah. And the good thing about it is it's a trade that you can start your own business. You know, you work for somebody for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you start your own plumbing company. So they make some good cash. So again, like we said, we can go back and forth with this all day long. You like the girl in the white shirt? Where is she? I missed her. Fuck. She bent over too. She ready. Yeah, girl. It's a lot of, you know, it's a nice Friday. It's 2:22 in the afternoon. Trade schools is where it's at now. Yeah, I mean, I agree, Shell. I mean, again, you'll do less time than in a college. You won't have a huge the same kind of public or student debt. You know. Again, I'd assume that you'd probably start off right away making more money too than most jobs that you get straight out of college. And like I said, anywhere where you can end up being your own boss in that sense, it's always a good thing. Being your own boss is everything. Plumbers can't be replaced by AI. Well, a robot that can build can. And I'm sure that'll be there soon. I mean, you have Amazon package filling now with robots. They're grabbing what you want, that lamp on the shelf, walking over, putting it in a box, taping it up. I watched the videos. There's videos of it. Okay, so they're slowly getting rid of the Amazon workers so they can have somebody, robots do that all day long, 24 hours a day, no whining, never coming in late, not bringing their own personal problems, not stealing. There's so much upside to it. I hate to say it because I'm not a fan of it. But if we're, again, taking our emotion out of it and we're just looking at it outside, looking in, there's so much upside to it. Other than the cost, that's the only downfall. Other than the cost and possibly the maintenance. And I assume at some point they're going to have an AI robot that fixes robots. You know what I mean? It plugs itself in just like an OBG, reader on a car, and it just scans it for you. It tells you what's wrong with the car. This is the code it's tripping. That's what needs to be replaced. And then it replaces it. Libs go to trader school? Yes, they do. Yeah, I think the trades are a great thing. I really do. Even though construction should slowly dwindle off here for new homes in the next 5 to 10 years, one would assume, because the market's flooded with houses. There's a lot of places that they're dropping literally $100,000 off a house just to try to sell it. So yeah, one would assume at some point at least new construction would slow. But again, that has nothing to do with it. There's so many tree roots and everything that are busting pipes and all that, So you'll always have a job. That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying, Rapid Dog, and that's what I was just talking about. So you create a robot that fixes the robots, and a port that you can plug from one robot to the other so it reads what's wrong, what it needs, and fixes it. It can't be that far away. It just fucking can't be. If you have already robotic arms building and welding and painting cars, come on. We've had that for 20 years. Okay, and that's how it started. Nobody really thought about it that way. It was it being AI because it's not a robot that's just walking around. But that took a lot of jobs off the assembly lines for every major manufacturer. And they got a lot more done. They can get more cars made, painted, finished, welded, done. And then you just use the people for the last little finishing touches to make sure you more like QC, quality control and stuff. Immortality in 10 years. Wow, I don't know, man. We're definitely headed to a bad place because there's less families. You don't see too many young folks like families. You might see a young single mom or a single dad here or there, but not a whole lot of family units. I venture to say that the birth rate is down quite a bit, especially in our country. So yeah. I just think between those kinds of things and phones, it's really such a detachment. Like, people hang out and they don't even talk to each other anymore. They're just on their phones in the same room. There won't be much dialogue anymore. And then people become socially inept. They don't know how to act when they're in a room with a bunch of people. Just go to the phone because that's where I feel comfortable. I'll text you. Again, there's no calls. Like, if you called somebody who's younger, like actually called them, they'd be like, they may not say it to you, but in their mind, they're saying, well, why is this fool calling me? He could text me. Why is he calling me? Because people read text two different ways sometimes. So I just think you're better off, You're better off talking face to face, especially when it's something important via text. Phone zombies, man. That's it. Cell phone equals probe droid. Yeah. Ask Cartman. Yes, Peter, we will be live tonight. 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Time, sorry. Yeah, we'll have our normal fun. Shit, we're just on so fast today. What can I do? They were in and out in less than an hour. You see how fast it works when you take general comment altogether? And then they want to play this fucking game back and forth, and we'll do it after kind of shit, just to fuck with you. I hope they get sued for that. I really, really do. I hope they get fucking sued. But then I say to myself, so then what? It's the taxpayers. We, me, I, you, all of us are paying for that. And they don't give a fuck, and that's why they don't care. Because if they get sued, it's not their money they're losing. Oh, what is she doing? She got her finger in her ass? What's she doing, girl? Such a scam with public comment. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's even a scam. I think they know exactly what they're doing. It's a deterrent. It's to deter you to spend the rest of your day to waste 1 minute more of time just to talk for 1 minute. Like, if I can, and then I'm really the winner if I made you wait and sit through my shit for 3 fucking hours to listen to your shit for 1 minute. And I didn't even listen to you when you were talking. I was on my phone or I walked out of the room. You waited 3 hours to talk to me. Now I'm telling you, go ahead and talk. And then as soon as you start talking, I walk out the room. I mean, if that's not the biggest smack in the face, I mean, I don't know what is. And if you looked at the dais, the horseshoe, you'd see that most of them are all gone. And the ones the 2 or 3 that might be sitting there that you think are paying attention are on their phones too, or on their laptop. Oh, sure, they're narcissists. They don't get it. Look, nobody in politics is not a narcissist. They're all self-centered. They're all narcissists. They're all egotistical. Those are traits that you have to be a politician. That's just it. That's just it. You have to have them. If you don't have those qualities, you are not qualified. And that's just it. It takes a certain type of person to be that piece of shit. And that's why I tell you, they're all pieces of shit. Not one of them gives a fuck about you. Sociopath too, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. They just care about themselves and the power, and they're drunk with power. And, they're just pieces of shit. So, yeah, it's, it is what it is. Debate club. That's the funny thing is you don't even get to debate them. They would never debate you. It would take all day and they'd lose. Most of them can barely read off a fucking piece of paper they wrote. And some of them read like, they're 6 or 7. It's just wild. It's just wild, I think it's a lot of DEI hires and shit like that, and that's what you get. You know what I mean? That is what you get. That's it. Just because you wear the suit don't make you suitable. That's it, QWERTY. You heard it first from Tiffany Hinyard. It's going to be fun Monday, man. Seeing all the fireworks. I want to see the chick Dookie Burner, because Dookie Burner didn't get in. They left her outside, man.
That needs to go. Why are we sitting in a town that burns feces? Why is that going on? Jason, you were at the ribbon cutting. Dubs was at the ribbon cutting. Ed Steve was at the ribbon cutting. Why are we in a town that burns Dookie?
I mean, really, why are we in a town that burns Dookie? So, Snowman, just wondering why I'm in a town that burns Dookie. We need some, I'm going to get some drops today, guys. I'm going to get off here and make it a good Friday. I'm going to add some new drops right now to the machines. I got to get dots. And then I got to do this one today. What was it that we heard today that was funny? There was something in there today. Oh, Spindler with the fuck. Every second word was fuck. I need that Spindler drop. So we need to get dots, because remember, you got to follow the dots, man. The DOTTS. The dots. If you follow the dots, you won't get there. No, there's 2 T's in dots. Liberty. Shame on you. I just wish, as great as the drop is, the face on that cop standing right next to him at the podium is even better. It's priceless. I was just watching his face and eyes, and he just, when he heard the extra T, and then he shook his head like that, just shake it off. I mean, dude said it with such conviction. That was the best part. Dude, he was adamant about it. It was just it. Dude, it was just too much. Did the mic drop with the fucking misspelling. But that's what happens, man. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. I think that's it. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here because Stinky's going going crazy. He's now circling the wagons on me. So I'm going to go feed him before he goes crazy. Thank you for everything. The likes, the love, the donos, the thumbs ups, the camaraderie, the comments, all the fun. I know you could have spent your time with anybody, but you chose to spend it with us, and I appreciate that. But remember, I will be back on tonight at 8 p.m., which is not far from now, a little over 6 hours from now, 6 hours, 27 minutes. So set your timer, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, depending on your time zones, of course. Yeah, I'm going to jump out of here. But remember, always keep your notifications on in case there's a chase. I will see you guys later on. If you can't join us, I understand it. Have a fantastic Friday night, and we'll see you on the next one. On behalf of Stink Bomb and myself,
hasta la vista, baby.
Bye, y'all.